Alright, now we are going to mount the electronics or the flight controller in AHRS. So basically we have this bag with M3007. So these are a double-sided, or I would say pillars for the electronics. So we will mount these pillars using, we will mount the flight controller using these pillars. And then one remaining tray that we tossed down right here, this is the only piece left now, which is the given number here, F3004C. Alright, so this one will then mount on top of these, then we will mount this on top of these pillars, and AHRS will sit on top of it. And we will also use double-sided sponge or vibration-proof tapes. Okay, let us do it. This is really very easy and piece of cake. Okay, so now I have mounted the flight controller, okay, using the double-sided tape and sponge or vibration-proof foam, stickable foam provided. Now if we zoom in here, I would simply show you that AHRS unit is mounted on these on this plate, okay, and it fits really perfectly on top of the flight controller, and the port on the AHRS-S V2 unit actually goes down to port A on the flight controller, so it links with the supplied cable from port to port A. Alright, and after that we can simply put it on top of it, okay, and using the provided nylon screws, just put the 4 screws there, and your quad is ready for the connections. Then you need to install the receiver, connect it, put the battery, and give it a first flight after installing the propellers, and of course we will connect the motor cables. Well, remember one thing, the front, which actually there is an error here, the front means your quad, this side will be the front, so it's best now to decide which way it's your quad's front, and then you can actually mount it that way, so either this way or that way. So I wouldn't recommend mounting it the sideways, but I'm keeping it my side. This means I'm taking the front, this area, as a forward section of the quad, and this area is backward. So I'm gonna mount it with the supplied screws, and then we will connect the ESC cables, alright, to the flight controller. We will connect a receiver to the flight controller, install the propellers, connect the motor cables according to the M1, M2, M3, M4 arms rotation of the motors, and then we will give it a flight. Sweet. Looking forward to it, right? We are all looking forward to it. I am dying to see it fly. So let me configure everything, and then I'll show you a quick look. Okay, now it's time to connect the electronics. So let me do it right in front of you. If you once again look at your user manual, okay, so you will see that M1 is your ESC1, M2 is your ESC2, M3 is your ESC3, and M4 is your ESC4. So seeing this, they have also given the diagram, that is which one is rotating clockwise and which one is rotating counterclockwise. And if you want to make sure which cables to connect where on your motors, you can actually go back to this page where it shows M1, M2, M3, and M4 red and black cable orientation or connection diagram. So we will do it later, but for now, M1 is your ESC1, M2 ESC2, M3 ESC3, and M4 ESC4. Now if you look at your flight controller here, let me zoom in. So this side is your output, so here is 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me pick something pointy, and you can see this is your ESC1, ESC2, ESC3, and ESC4. So accordingly, we will connect all the ESCs onto the right port. So zoom out. If this is my forward, this is my ESC1, okay? There's no way you can connect them in wrong polarity, though the user manual mentions don't connect them in wrong polarity. But still, you have to be careful, okay? There is no way you can connect them in wrong polarity. But again, white stays here at the left, red in the middle, black at the right. So zoom in, and you can see black, red, and white. So in case I want to connect it the wrong side, So you can see that there's no way, you can see that there is no way I can actually put the connector inside the wrong way. So don't worry about it, but just make sure you connect the right ESC to the right port. There you go, it should sink in real nicely. Then this is your ESC2. Then this is your ESC3. You can see easily all ESCs connected in the right way. Right polarity, there's no way you will make a mistake on polarity. So I can put the cables inside somewhere later, but now in order to connect the receiver, you have been provided with these cables, and this side is your receiver side for the connections. So if you look at here, you have channel 1, 2, 3, 4, zoom in. Channel 1, 2, 3, 4. Now remember, when we are talking about Futaba and Spectrum radios, your channel 1 on Futaba is aileron, while on your Spectrum radio the channel 1 is your throttle. So keeping that in mind, you will connect these things accordingly. But how do the flight controller for XAircraft takes these channels? It takes channel 1 as throttle. Okay, let me mark it for you. It takes channel 1 as throttle, channel 2 as elevator or pitch, channel 3 aileron or roll, and channel 4 is your rudder or yaw. So accordingly, you can actually put these cables in, alright, the supplied cables. Let me zoom out. Accordingly, you can put the supplied cables in, and once again, there's no way you're gonna make any mistake on this one. So first, you're gonna just put the cables in regardless of what they are. Now seeing this is your channel 1, then channel 2, channel 3, channel 4, and looking at your user manual, that is throttle, elevator, aileron, and rudder, you can easily connect them to the corresponding channels of your receiver.